What's up everybody, welcome to the channel Davo. You know that we talk about real estate, and if you're here for the first time, a big welcome, because this video we're going to talk about a bigger city in Apulia for the English speakers out there. It's called Lecce, and so in this video we're going to look at the real estate around. I'm going to be walking through town trying to find a property to look at. Okay, there's beautiful architecture. You can see behind me there is this beautiful stone building, and if we take a step out you might be able to see a little bit better back behind me. Okay, so this is the view you get. There's buildings like this everywhere, and it's just breathtaking. I stopped at this point because of this property right here. Some of the projects seem to already have been purchased and are just waiting for some approvals, perhaps some money to come in. I'm always curious how long it's been since a property like this has had someone even look at it. You can see there's a lot of overgrowth. There's a big pile of materials over there. They did the removal of some of these iron protections, and you can see they've left the building open. In the roof area you can see water damage happening right here at the soffit area. I'm on the outskirts on the south end, on the Gallipoli side. It's fairly near where we often stay. The majority of the historical center has been preserved. They call it the Florence of the South because of all of the unique Baroque architecture that it has been retained in good condition. Now, I don't know what the people of Florence would have to say about that, but here you can see that there is a very strong presence of this ancient style. And I wanted to see what the real estate was like here, because I always see the real estate as I'm coming into town, but I hardly ever see what kind of apartments or villas are just off the main street entering this side of Lecce. So we're going to check it out. What our goal is finding a property that we could potentially invest in. Now, we're not going to come move down here most likely, but I've been searching the surrounding areas, and I'm starting to search this inner Puglia area, Lecce specifically, for a property to see the expenses and if it's affordable to pick something up and rent it out on the vacation rental market and perhaps stay in it periodically. We do love to come down here on vacation, and so that doesn't really work to stay during the period in which you want to rent it out. But perhaps if we find something larger that we can split into two and stay in one and rent out the other, we can do a little bit of house hacking, and we can rent out both when we're not in the area. I'd like to thank the Patreon members for sponsoring this opportunity. If you'd like to become a Patreon member, feel free to check the link in the description below. Here I found a bit of a quiet neighborhood on the south side. I like these kind of neighborhoods where there's a lot less cars passing through. I think most of us like that kind of thing. Already I'm seeing a for sale sign right here. Buongiorno. Vorrei chiedere informazione su una casa che ho visto camminando in strada. Casa con Ave Maria avanti, giusto? Numero 3. 190. So I set up an appointment to see it. Talking to the secretary or the agency, they said that the inside is to refinish, but they're already asking 190,000 euros. I have to wonder how big it is. It is in a nice little calm neighborhood. You can see there's newer construction projects on my left and on my right. So it'll be interesting to see how much is left to do. Hopefully I can share that with you. Maybe I'll try to add it to this video. Even if it's not this one, it'll be one coming up. Comment below what you think about this section of Lecce so far, and let's get back to the video. The The beautiful part about Italy is just the insane difference between property from one position of Italy to in one city compared to another, no? Or even in the same city. Like you saw me, I was walking up, I showed you all those houses. They're just normal houses, and then all of a sudden, a logo pops up. Okay, so this is private property. I saw a car. I don't want to enter and look around, but there are these larger, just older mansion style properties all over, even in the how do you say? My gosh, I forget English. All over in the urban area of Lecce. This one's actually right in Lecce. It's on the border. The hospital is right over this direction. Anyway, I'm not suggesting anyone come pick this up, but there are properties like this with a big for sale sign that are in probably worse condition out when you're driving down the road. They kind of look like more like these cinder blocks just abandoned for a long period of time. So as much as I'd love to tour that property, I don't see any contact information. It's not necessarily for sale. And so we're just gonna keep moving down the road. But it's out here, there's like nothing else around it. And but I happen to know those buildings right there are on the main street entering from Gallipoli. So even though it feels tucked way back here, it's right here on the main principal entrance to Lecce. Enough of the quiet life. We're gonna start heading downtown like I keep promising and see what we can find. Looks like someone had a bad day. Look at that. Judging by the facade of all of these properties, you can guess why Italy has given an incentive of 110% to fix the facade. You can see there's all this. There's the black mold that's always there, just a bit of decay wherever you look. So they'd like to improve the quality of the properties and just the overall appeal of Italy, and it makes sense. What I've noticed so far is there's a relatively low proportion of properties, a very relatively low ratio of properties that are for sale at this moment in time. And actually I was a little bit surprised by that. I expected to see a lot more, but it might be due to this being a vacation destination. I remember when this property was on auction. I don't remember the price. It was in the millions. But it's right here on the main street that goes to Gallipoli. And I'm curious if anyone picked it up or if it's in that same waiting period due to our current emergency situation. This is a one-way street. The cars park on both sides. The houses seem to be a little bit more economic, cheaper. These are the properties I'm talking about that are just like really long and skinny. Like that could be a house, that could 105, 107, right? Each door. I have been in these properties. I happen to know that one property on this street was sold for 30,000 euro. I don't know the condition. I hope to be able to tour it before I leave town, just to get an idea of what it was like. There's a bowling alley on this street. There are random businesses. Like at the end of the street, there's a really nice restaurant that was remodeled. I see 3 for sale signs right here. So there's probably an apartment complex there in the back that someone could pick up a property on. Here, this is the most unique property on the block regarding residential real estate. There's this big garden and a giant villa in the middle. You'll be able to see in a second. It's not exactly like maintained at its highest level, but that one stands out as extremely unique on this street. Here's the bowling alley I mentioned. It's only open later in the evening, as is typical, but we're pretty far off from the center of town still. This is one of the reasons why we're here, because I did see this property for sale previously, and I'm curious if I can get an appointment. Answering machine. Anyway, this looks like the biggest property in the whole street regarding for sale signs that I've found. There's another one right up here that I'm also interested in checking out. Like there's a for sale by owner sign right here with a bunch of newspapers. So it's obviously not being lived in, but there's an entrance there and a second house right here. But I'm curious about the upper area, which house it belongs to. We're not going to make it downtown for this video, but please subscribe and come back for the upcoming videos. I did have the opportunity to tour 3 of the properties that I pointed out in the video, and I'd like to share kind of an analysis of those properties coming up. Thanks everyone for supporting the channel so much. Don't forget to subscribe. To finish off the video, here's a glance of the Lecce train station. In case you're traveling by train to Lecce, everything's pretty convenient to get to from this train station.